iScrappers, Tom from the iScrap app. Today is Wednesday, March 27th, 2019. We hope that you're doing well. We hope that you are scrapping often. We love to see, read, and hear about the scrap stories that you guys share through our social media pages, through emails, and different outlets that we correspond with people, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, through our Facebook group page, reported prices. We love hearing from you. And of course, that old traditional way, no, not postcards. We're talking about email. We love getting emails in with the stories that you tell us as well. So please continue to comment on our posts, like our blogs, like the different things that we're putting on there. Let us know what we can do better. Let us know what we can add to you. Our goal is to help you make more money with your scrap. So hopefully you'll be able to share some more of your stories, post some more of your prices, and share with other people the different pieces of information that you have learned and are growing with inside of the scrap metal community. So during our live weekly report, Wednesday afternoons, right around 1 p.m. Eastern time, we'd like to entertain questions. We'd like to come up with answers that will help you out. We'd like to come up with different pieces of information that we've read, heard, seen, or experienced in the market over the last week, month, quarter, year. Anything that we can do to help you guys out. If we do not get to your questions, A, because we have too many, B, because I go too fast and I'm not able to answer it because I'm always on the next topic, or C, because you're watching it after we're doing this live, never fear. We'll make sure to get all those answers over to you and do our best job. If some of your fellow scrappers don't answer some of the questions before we get a chance to, which has been one of the most rewarding things for us to see, with thousands of people joining our Facebook scrap metal recycling group page, and with us being able to be the moderators and keeping out people who are trying to solicit their services, who are trying to buy scrap, who are scrap yards, who are spammers, if you will, exporters, people that would really harass and bother you. We've been able to take those people out, and we make sure to go through all the people before approving them. You know, every day we have 15, 20, 30 people that don't get approved, and then we have a lot more that do get approved just because we don't want to have such a large dialogue. We've also had people reporting other people talking about things that aren't right or could be illegal, and we're not looking to promote any of those things as well. So feel free to ask your questions, and we're going to start off with the copper, non-ferrous, and aluminum markets over the last week. Over the last week, copper markets have gone down 4 or 5 cents a pound, nothing too crazy. You know, you're looking at a 1.5 to 2% decrease. Nothing is going to be super crazy. Your scrap yards will have slight adjustments because we did see those prices drop on Friday relatively quickly. But since Friday, 3 days in a row, we've had very flat, stable markets. And that's a nice thing to see. With the flat and stable markets that we've had coming in, we've been able to really get a good grip on what's going on in the markets. We've been able to follow how things are working, moving, and we've been able to talk to people about how they're moving inventory and how they're moving their different metals. So we've been seeing a lot more uptick, especially after, you know, we're through the first quarter of 2019. You know, next week is April 1st on Monday, and that means that we have 13 weeks in the books and 1 quarter of 2019, you know, behind us. Where have we been in the first quarter? I'm so happy you asked because I planned on telling you. I think that the first quarter of 2019 was much more positive than I expected it to be. We saw the copper prices jump about 15 to 20 cents. We saw the steel prices decline, but then rebound in March to take over the drops and be able to rise another $15 or $20 a ton from where they started at the beginning of the year. These are all very positive things. We think that this trend is going to continue, and we're hoping that going forward, we'll be able to see the steel prices increasing even more. Now, with the steel increases that we've seen over the last few weeks, we've also seen some people talking about some of the future in the steel market and where they're going to be. So that's one thing that we're going to hop into later, but we're going to continue to talk about copper. Now, one market that we've been really watching has been the insulated copper wire market. And you may ask us, what do you mean one market that you've been watching? Copper is something that you talk about and go over all the time. And yes, it is, but it's also something that we wanted to really highlight the insulated copper wire market this week because it's been in such turmoil. At our scrapyard, we've probably had 300 or 400 conversations, both in person, email, and on the phone, just in 2019 about how we've started to adjust and change some of our insulated copper wire prices. As the Chinese and the US continue to negotiate this tariff and trade deal, we've seen the markets dry up and we've been able to start to see other ones starting to open. But these other markets that are opening, because they know that the Chinese are not importing insulated copper wire from the US right now, they're able to be a little more picky than they might have been years ago when the Chinese were a bigger option and they just had to take whatever scraps, no pun, well actually, complete pun intended, that they could, that the Chinese weren't able to bring in. Now, the different wire markets have been getting sorted, separated, and really been almost prosecuted to an extent that we haven't seen before. We've seen different grades of Cat 5 and Cat 6 start to have new products introduced, such as Cat 5 or Cat 6 Cross, which has an additional piece of plastic inside. So when these things come in, they pop into the scrap metal market. These are how different scrapyards and processors have to change, adjust, and make sure that they're doing things the right way. So it's been very interesting to see. It's been very hard to figure out, but we've been able to watch it very closely. Now, the aluminum market has been relatively strong over the last 2 weeks. While we haven't seen the prices have a 10, 15, or 20 cent increase, we have seen them not only stabilize, but start to increase through our reported prices, jumping about a penny to 3 pennies a pound, depending on the item. Now, the higher grades of aluminum that we've seen, such as the bare 6061, 6063s, and even painted material like clips, they have increased. Some people always ask about extrusion prices, and of course, extrusion is just a common name, just like asking someone about a car. We'll make sure to link to our recent aluminum extrusion blog when we're done with this, and you'll be able to learn a little more about the aluminum extrusion market. But extrusion is just something that is pushed through a mold and comes out in a form. So it's not a specific grade of scrap as it is a name of scrap. Grades and names are different. You might drive a car, right? That's talking about a type of scrap or a type of a car. You drive a car, but what scrap yards are looking for is what grade is it? That's like saying, well, I drive a Chevy Silverado. So, that's a little more specific. So I've extruded aluminum versus I have extruded 6063 aluminum, two very different things, even though they seem very similar. Virginia, we got a question.
We had a question from Russell. He asked why stainless steel prices are so low. It seems like it's not even worth separating anymore.
Yeah, what a really funny question to answer, Russell. Thank you for asking. The stainless steel market and the nickel market have really been hurt very badly. I know some people out in Pennsylvania that do a lot of stainless steel, 304, 303, 316, even 410 series. And these people that are doing these things, they've just said that the market just hasn't been there. It hasn't been one of the stronger items that has been being used in the manufacturing industry, and it hasn't been one of the things that has been as desired as it was years ago. You think about it, stainless steel is a very strong, durable, but heavy product. So that kind of rules itself out for the auto industry. You think about Ford and some of these other manufacturers starting to make parts or all of their car frames out of aluminum because aluminum is light, relatively cheap, and it's easy to work with because it's very pliable. When you compare that to stainless steel, which is heavy, maybe it's cheaper than aluminum, but it's much more difficult to work with, to be able to put together, to be able to weld. A lot of different things that people don't keep in mind. So just the weight of it kind of negates it from the auto industry. Yes, it's used in certain pieces of the auto industry, especially in the high temperature things, maybe some of the exhausts or some of the outsides of catalytic converters, because it's able to absorb and keep a lot of that heat contained, but it isn't one of the more used items in the overall industry. Virginia, we have another question?
We have a statement. Anthony said that it's $165 per ton for tin in Sudbury. That's in Canada.
That's a great price. Don't forget those are Canadian dollars, so that's about $135 in US dollars.
And then also question from William, how's lead batteries in the wheel weight market?
Yeah, wheel weight market is very tough. Thank you for the questions, everyone. Wheel weight market is a little tougher. You have to make sure that with the wheel weight market, you're able to have, excuse me, getting all types of blow-ups here. The wheel weight market, you need to make sure that these steel clips are off the lead to really get a primo pricing. We recommend not mixing your clean wheel weights with your regular soft lead. They are a little different in pricing. We've seen prices for dirty wheel weights 15 to 25 cents a pound. Now, the other market with What was the other one he talked
Lead batteries.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I just too many scrap things on the mind right now. Scrap on the mind. Pew, pew, pew. Lead acid batteries right now, market has weakened a little bit. We've seen some prices reported anywhere from 18 to 27 cents per pound. And we've also seen scrap yards starting to separate and segregate these different lead acid batteries in a new way, having specific categories for car or truck batteries, for backup power supply batteries, for cell site batteries, lots of different options here. Virginia?
Question from, trying to get the name here, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Aluminum can prices, up or down?
Middle, even. Next to nothing has really changed over the last month. We've seen some aluminum can prices as low as 23 cents a pound. We saw a few reported as high as 43 cents a pound. And of course, if you're in one of the redemption states, you might have prices even more expensive than that.
Just a quick price that Charlie shared with us. $4.75 per 100 pounds for light iron in southeastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's a very fair price. If it's at a smaller facility, it's probably around $90 per ton. Thank you for sharing that price with us. So let's pop back to the steel market. We talked about the steel prices increasing. You know, it was funny because about a month and a half ago, we talked about how the light iron market was stronger than the heavy iron market, such as PNS, HMS, rotors, things like that. Well, it seems that the heavier market has reversed itself and the market has climbed in price, seeing another $20 per ton tacked on the 15 that was added about a week ago. Well, we have started to hear about a small pullback in April. We haven't seen that start to take flight, so we're kind of waiting and seeing what's going to go on. Now, we've seen light iron prices reported as low as $65 a ton, and as you've heard in some of the reported prices we've heard just in this live report, anywhere from $95, $135, and the Canadian price $165 $165 per ton in Canadian dollars. Now, some of the heavier grades of steel we've actually heard very, very strong numbers on. Unprepared number one, we've heard prices anywhere from $165 to $235 per ton. We saw some people posting that they were getting 9 to 12 cents per pound on rotors. These are some strong prices, and just to translate that, about $195 to $250 per ton. Don't forget, most scrap yards, when they do their tons, they measure them in 2,240 pound increments, not the traditional 2,000 pound increments. They think of it as a long or a metric ton, a little different than your regular short ton of steel. So if you're doing your math afterwards and maybe you think that your scrapyard gypped you, they probably didn't. They're just doing their math different than you are. Once you figure out what's going on, you'll be able to make that transition as well. Now, the gold prices are relatively strong, still hovering over $1,300 per ounce, around $1,318 per ounce, as last checked about an hour ago. Palladium, rhodium, platinum, the three items primarily found and used in the catalytic converter market, continue to come together to be a force to be reckoned with, as the catalytic converters have been hotter than I've seen maybe ever. We've seen lots and lots of people talking about their cats, looking to get prices, asking opinions through our Facebook group, the Scrap Metal Recycling Group. So we'd love to see what you have to say, and we'll give you as many links to blogs and articles as we can to help you learn more about your catalytic converters as well. Guys, this is Tom from the iScrap app. This is Wednesday, March 27th, 2019. We try to do this live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Any questions that we didn't get to, we apologize. We'll make sure to get an answer to you in the next 24 hours. But until next week, iScrappers, I'll scrap you later.